All right, so are you ready to like dive into some of the most unusual place names
I'm on.
on the planet?
Do it.
You know, like those spots on the map that make you kind of go,
Oh, yeah.
"Who came up with that?" Yeah,
Yeah.
we're talking names that are funny,
Uh-huh. Yeah.
strange, and everything in between.
Absolutely.
So
Yeah.
I mean, I know like these names
Yeah.
often offer a glimpse into like history of
No
them,
history,
culture, or even just a quirky sense of humor.
Yeah, just like a funny story behind it.
Okay, so let's start with a real tongue twister.
Okay.
You included this in your research.
Okay.
Llanfair Folgwyn Gogri Volva Probol Anticilia Gogoka.
Yeah.
It's the name of a village in Wales,
Uh-huh.
and it's ridiculously long.
I know.
What's the story behind this mouthful?
Well, it's a classic example of how Welsh place names can get incredibly descriptive.
Oh, really?
Like they just want to get all the information in there.
Wow.
So it essentially translates to St. Mary's Church in the hollow of the White Hazel near a rapid whirlpool and the Church of St. Cecilio of the Red Cave.
Oh, my goodness.
You can see how they just kept adding details.
Right.
It's like a whole sentence crammed into a name.
Yeah, like it's a built-in GPS system.
Totally.
Speaking of names that paint a picture,
Yeah.
what about places that don't quite live up to their names?
Yeah.
You had some interesting examples in your note.
Right, like Disappointment Islands in French Polynesia.
Okay.
You'd think they'd be well disappointing.
Yeah.
But apparently they're quite beautiful.
Mm.
Then there's Coolville, Ohio,
Oh, cool.
which, from what I've read, is a charming small town, but perhaps not quite as cool as the name suggests.
Right, right. I guess names can sometimes be misleading,
Yeah.
like judging a book by its cover.
Yeah, for sure.
But sometimes those quirky names are just plain hilarious.
They are.
What about places like I can't believe this is a real place.
Okay.
Being in Austria.
Yes.
I mean, how?
It's a small village that's become somewhat famous for its, shall we say, attention-grabbing name.
Yeah.
And it definitely highlights how humor varies across cultures.
Oh, absolutely.
What might seem shocking or funny to one culture
Yeah.
can be perfectly ordinary to another.
That's so true.
Yeah.
And it's not just Austria. You mentioned a few other places with names that might provoke a giggle or two.
Right. We've got Useless Loop in Western Australia.
Useless Loop. I love that.
Anus in France.
Okay.
And PP Township in Ohio.
Wow.
And we can't forget Middelfart in Denmark, which roughly translates to medium speed in Danish.
Middelfart. Okay, I admit that one got me.
I know, right?
But let's shift gears a bit.
Okay.
You also included Hell Norway in your list.
Yeah.
Does it live up to its fiery name?
Well, I haven't been there personally, but from what I've gathered, it's actually a rather pleasant town.
Okay.
The name likely derives from an Old Norse word, heller, meaning overhang or cliff. So while it might evoke images of the underworld, it seems to be a pretty nice place to visit.
That's a relief.
Yeah.
Now, this last one really caught my eye.
Okay.
Batman Turkey.
Yeah.
Is there a secret Turkish superhero connection we're missing?
As far as I know, there's no direct link to the Caped Crusader.
Okay.
Interestingly, the name Batman actually predates the comic book hero.
Oh, wow.
It was originally the name of a region and a river in Turkey, which the city later adopted.
Wow.
So it seems to be a happy coincidence.
So we've traveled the world from a Welsh village with a never-ending name to a Turkish city that shares its name with a famous superhero.
Uh-huh.
It's amazing how place names can be so strange, funny, and full of surprises.
It really is, and remember, every place name has a story behind it.
Yeah,
Next time you see an unusual name on a map, take a moment to wonder about its origins.
I will.
You might uncover a fascinating bit of history, a cultural quirk, or just a good laugh.
That's good advice. Thanks for joining me on this deep dive into weird and wacky place names.
You got it.
Until next time, stay curious.
Bye.
Bye.